All right, man. We back. Marcy Sports Talk. We in the buildings. Talk a little bit about Calvin Johnson. He didn't make the top 100 NFL players of all time. If you didn't see my other channel, if I haven't dropped the video, if I have dropped the video yet, check it out. Goodfellas Sports TV. Terrell Owens was left off the list as well, and also guys like Andre Reed didn't make it. There's probably other guys in there people may think should have been on there as well. Some people might think Musa Muhammad. Steve Smith from Panthers and Baltimore Ravens. Keep going on and on. But let's talk a little bit about Calvin not making it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. And I think it's sad, but the reason Calvin don't make it because he didn't win much. At least Barry did make it to, Barry made it, as most people know by now. And the NFL 100, is the 100th anniversary for NFL. It's been around 100 years, and they're doing a tribute to the top 100 players. So my whole thing about it is that Calvin Johnson is not on the list because one, he didn't play enough national televised high-profile games. Is what I was explaining about the Kenny Galladay and Matthew Stafford video yesterday I did. And another thing about it was he didn't get to those playoff events, and people didn't actually see how great Calvin was. We have a perception on how great Calvin Johnson was, Megatron, because we watched him when he jumped over 4 or 5 Cincinnati Bengals, when he went off versus the Dallas Cowboys. And not per se to put it on Matthew Stafford for it. They didn't put enough around Calvin for him to be a winner. They didn't put enough defense, enough offense around him and Matthew Stafford. They had offensive linemen for Riley Reef, Jeff Backus, and then you go into, Riley Reef and some of the others, Dominic Raiola, some of the sorrier offensive linemen. They just didn't put a team around him. And Calvin gonna suffer to get the recognition that he did. Had Calvin was with the New England Patriots, had he was with, Peyton Manning his career, come on, please believe me, Calvin Johnson would probably be the #1 receiver to ever do it, and it'll be consensus. Because he would have made the playoff runs. He would have made the Super Bowl. He would have made the big plays. Whatever Marvin Harrison did, he made the list. Megatron would have been 2 or 3 times better than he was. Randy Moss was nice, but Megatron could do more. Randy was a 9 route. He was a fast guy, but Calvin can go under the middle. He can go over the middle. He can run a slant route. He can run the entire route tree. And you can say that about Larry Fitzgerald, another guy that can run the entire route tree. But Calvin had Larry Fitzgerald. He wasn't the route runner Larry was, but he didn't stick around long enough to really show those skills. But he could run the route tree really well. But he was bigger than Larry Fitzgerald, more explosive than Larry Fitzgerald, and he had good hands until he got banged up at the end of his career. And Calvin was the most talented receiver I ever seen, physically, and the ability to be that big and that fast to get in and out of breaks. And once again, the Lion brand, like Lomas Brown was saying, that was hurting his brand getting the Hall of Fame. He got hella credentials. And it hurt his brand. And they can make a case that guys like Andre Johnson should be on there. And actually, Andre Johnson could have been a Detroit Lion if they didn't take Charles Rogers, I think it was. You see, and it's unfortunate, man. And this is my message to Kenny Galladay. And there's no disrespect to Lions fans out here, or, and we still with the team and rocking with them. But the organization has robbed so many of our key players of accolades that they deserve nationally because they don't know how to put a team together. They don't know the right people to put a team together, or either they don't want to spend the money to put a team together. But, Calvin Johnson suffers. If Matthew Stafford don't win nothing at the end of his career, he will suffer, has some of the best stats. And people call me like, man, sorry, my neck. Matthew Stafford got some great stats, man. And, if he just wins something, he can be a Hall of Famer. Yeah. Same thing for Calvin. They're going to try to help Calvin out the Hall of Fame, but Calvin was better than Marvin Harrison. He's better than everybody I've seen from a talent standpoint of view, but obviously he can't go to the Super Bowl and do what Jerry did. Jerry Rice was like 10, 12 receptions, like 190, a few touchdowns, whatever he did one year. He was a Super Bowl MVP. You can't supplement that at all, man. With nothing he done in his career, you can show all the highlights that people may or may not seen or notice how great those highlights were. Him jumping over guys and making great catches, but he gonna be a Hall of Famer and he gonna be the best receiver we ever seen in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny that he gonna go down like Herman Moore and Sterling Sharp, as they went down as great receivers, right? But they got in trouble due to they career ended short due to injury. Calvin Johnson, not to say his career was cut short because it was way above the longevity of the average longevity of a player, but we would never see how great he was because the organization didn't put the proper talent around him. And that's sad, man. But to me, Calvin Johnson is like the most talented receiver I've seen. I watched a lot of guys over the years and a lot of tape of, Steve Largent, Andre Reed, Andre Rison, Hines Ward, and Santonio Holmes, Andre Johnson's, Larry Fitzgerald, which I think he like the number 3 best receiver I see in my lifetime. You know what I'm saying? If you just going off accolades, Jerry is like the second greatest football player I've ever seen. If not 1A, 1B with Lawrence Taylor. But like Jerry, if you just going off of like accolades and what they did, probably Jerry, Terrell Owens, and Larry Fitzgerald is my top 3. But just off talent, I don't think it's a more talented and gifted receiver than Megatron. He was robbed of being able to really be on the national stage. And also, he's robbed of that because people say, well, we could have left Detroit. The way they got the franchise tag set up, if it wasn't for the franchise tag, Barry Sanders would have left, Matthew Stafford probably would have left, and Calvin Johnson probably would have left. The way the contract set up, I think those guys would left. But Megatron, my dog, watched you over the years, holding you in Chicago for that catch. Calvin Johnson, I'll never forget it. To me, you are the greatest receiver that I've ever seen. I've seen a lot of them. Lynn Swann, you are the greatest. You are the NFL's number 1 top receiver I ever seen, just from a talent standpoint of view. But that's my opinion. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out to the email if you got business questions, inquiry, sponsorship, video questions. Keep sharing the videos. Want to make a donation? That link subscription. Best way to donate, share the video. Don't forget, check out my main channel out for more sports, music, entertainment. Goodfellas Sports TV. That's Goodfellas Sports TV. One time for the one time we gone.